I can't believe this just happened for the Montreal Canadiens. On the brink of overtime, they show out with a huge win, but the stars of the show, Zachary, Bolduc, Cole Caufield, and Kaiden Guhle, not only laying the body, but getting the winning goal. The Zachary Bolduc trade is aging better and better day after day. It's not just them, though. There were so many great performances and a lot of stuff to get into all coming up on this episode. And look, we'll start with the box score. Feel free to pause, take a look. And, Jesse, there were so many great performances. Even Nick Suzuki, who I didn't mention, who had 3 assists this game. He is over a point per game this season. 14 wins and 7 losses on the faceoff dot. There were so many sloppy plays this game, but good performances. It came down to the end. We got the win, and at the end of the day, man, that's all that matters. I am so thrilled on this Saturday night.
Absolutely. The fact that, Kaiden Guhle and Slaf, I think we got to give them a little bit of love here coming to the front of the net. Again, with 15 seconds left in that third period, here to just win this game is just absolutely so amazing. Kaiden Guhle, just the presence of mind to get it on the net. But again, Slaf, as we've seen early on in the season, creating things, making it happen in front of the net. And whether he's getting credit or not, that's just going to be putting him in Martin St. Louis' good books, which is just phenomenal to see, just giving us that much more in that first line that we really need to really just kind of translate for the rest of the team here. So absolutely loving what we're seeing here. Again, getting a big win, and what was not an easy one here tonight, Josh, but so important to just get that winning record, establishing that early on in the season here. I think it's just so important. All 3 games, they've looked good. I think that first game against Toronto, I think for many stretches, they looked like the better hockey team. And here again tonight, finding a way to win. I think, obviously if we would have had a couple more on the power play, would have maybe helped to put this one in the bag a little bit earlier here. Definitely a game that we need to win because of all those power plays. So really happy for the boys that we were able to get this big dub here.
It's actually hilarious to look down the power play time on ice, and Zach Bolduc led second on the team. Suzuki led the team with 10 minutes and 46 seconds on the power. Isn't that ridiculous? Look, I mean, we had to win this game, and the fact that it was close, it's a testament to Chicago's defense on the penalty kill, but also I have to imagine, Jesse, that Marty's going to switch up some things on the power play. And maybe before we dive into Bolduc in a bit, do you anticipate any power play changes? Because I don't know what I would even switch. At the end of the day, Bolduc got a goal and assist. Caufield got a goal and assist. Suzuki got 2 power play points. 2 for 10 is not ideal, but I think they're also just working out some kinks. There was lots of times when we whiffed on shots that we're not going to whiff on in a couple weeks, a couple months, So I think it's all fine for some trial and error. I don't anticipate anything massive, but I think some fans might be a little disappointed. Well, what are your thoughts on the power play situation coming out of this game?
I didn't think the power play was too bad, all things considered. 20% isn't too bad, but that being said, it's with all the opportunities tonight, if you were having Patrik Laine playing with Lane Hutson, you just have to feel like we're maybe getting a couple more there. Again, because you're having your best power play guy in Patrik Laine playing along with your best setup defenseman in Lane Hutson, one of the just best setup guys on this entire hockey team here. So I think but especially in the power play situation, you're really just playing with just your 2 best power play players. Nick Suzuki's in that conversation as well, but I think it's just that special chemistry that you really have between Patrik Laine and Lane Hutson, I think is a difference maker at this point in time. I know for Laine, he's still trying to look to find his footing. There's some good plays. There's maybe some things he'd like to have a little bit better as well there, but I wouldn't be interested to see them going to it at a certain point. That being said, we're having success because of guys like Bolduc, who are making it happen. Caufield, an amazing goal on the power play himself, batting out of the midair again. So nice seeing the first line, even Suzuki, just finding a way, still gets 3 points in this game. We see Caufield, where he's scoring. Slaf is contributing. So nice to see these big guns. But Bolduc, again, what a revelation. Just what he's been able to do, this team to really, he's been getting a hot start, and really this team also as a result of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the catalyst, right? I was waiting for a captain and goal, but Jesse, the talk about Bolduc is nonstop. I mean, I'm seeing Blues fans come on, why did we do this? Look, it's early. Mailloux has lots and lots of chances to play great, right? This hopefully will turn into a win-win for both teams, but for now, I'm pretty thrilled. Jay Fresh, for example, one of the most popular hockey personalities on Twitter. Why was Bolduc even available? Scott Wheeler, trading a 22-year-old Zach Bolduc wasn't the play, it appears. And again, it's early, But Jesse, Zachary Bolduc right now is tied for third all time for the longest road goal streak to start a season by a Montreal Canadian via NHL stats. If he scores in the Habs' next road game, which is I think about almost 2 weeks from now, it's not this week because I think we got 3 straight games at home, but it's just Caufield of last year and Steve Schutt in 1981-82 that scored in 4 straight road games to start a season. And this is Bolduc's first season with the Habs. He should be at 4 goals, mind you. I still don't understand why he didn't get credit, but at this point, I think that's water under the bridge. We can't think about that because they're not going to give it to him now. But Zachary Bolduc, again, we look at the impact chart, Jesse, who is at the top? It's Caufield, Suzuki, and Slafkovsky, our top line. Our top defensive pairing, tonight at least, Lane Hutson and Kaiden Guhle. And who else is right up there with them? It is Zach Bolduc. It's that first power play unit, really. Caufield, Suzuki, Bolduc, Slafkovsky, and Hutson. Yes, they had a lot of opportunities, so it makes sense that the team offense was good when they were on the ice, but they still made it happen. And Bolduc in particular, look, I think Hutson also has started to bounce back a bit, but Bolduc in particular, man, like just watching the impact he has on this game, offensively and even defensively and physically. He drew penalties because he was laying the body too much. Every aspect of Bolduc's game fits perfectly with this team. What a genius trade by Kent Hughes.
Yeah, absolutely. On the forechecking, getting underneath the team's skin. He's just doing so many things right, contributing to winning hockey. And, you know, Jay Fresh isn't the only one feeling this way. Like, there's multiple GMs, analysts that are like, how did we get Bolduc? And again, like, you know, even Jeff Gordon has never hid how much he's really liked this player. And it just turns out that he was completely right. Now the question is, and I'd love to hear from you, Josh, and like, and our fans in the comment section below. It's like, do you think that Bolduc, the way he's starting off his season, can Bolduc hit 30 goals this season? Because again, we know we hit 18. He's been able to hit 50 in the queue. The way he's starting off, I know that'd be a big jump of going from 18 to 30. But the way he's playing so far, you have to feel like that's completely on the table with this very young and talented Montreal Canadiens team.
You know what? I think it is absolutely within the realm of possibility. I mean, I think if you were to ask me that question before the season started, even during preseason, I'd say, yeah, there's a chance, but it's probably an outside chance because he's still young. Like, it's hard to ignore the goal production, especially after 4 Nations for him in St. Louis last year, right? You're like, you saw what he had. We've seen his shot. It's like, I think this guy could very well be a future 30-goal scorer. To be on the PP1 right out the gate and to be making an impact, not only on the PP1, but also 5v5 with his line mates Dach and Gallagher, it's like, I think 20 is the minimum here. I think 30 is real. Like, again, 3 goals in 3 games. He needs 27 goals in the remaining 82. And if you look at his pace from the second half of last year, that is more than attainable, right? So I think it's absolutely possible, Jesse. And again, if we're getting that kind of production from Bolduc, just imagine what this team's going to look like once Lane Hutson's starting to get points again, Demidov is settling in, and even Laine's starting to get PP goals, and we figure out some things there. Like, this team is going to look even more dangerous than they do right now, a team that is now ahead of other teams like Ottawa and Toronto in the standings, though we've played one more game, to be fair.
And it's a complete game changer for this team. And speaking of which, we have to look no further than the faceoff dot, where the Montreal Canadiens were just so good, and how important that was on the power plays and just throughout the game, the fact that they were able to do this. So absolutely such an amazing revelation here. The big question is, like, can we keep this up going forward? But we've seen, like, if they can keep playing the way that they are and not even had like their very best effort, still play, I think, pretty solid all around. But again, getting the faceoff, that's kind of sometimes the difference maker in these games as well here. So that's going to be something as well, Josh, that the Habs are really going to look forward to build upon, but a very good sign early on here in the season.
Yeah, I love that Suzuki had a bit of a bounce back because he was not at his strongest in games 1 and 2 on the dot, but we smoked Chicago tonight, thanks in large part to Suzuki and Evans, and even Dach and Newhook were positives, capping him 0 for 2, whatever. The defensemen are slacking, Jesse. They didn't win a single faceoff tonight. I just noticed that looking at the stat sheet, but you're absolutely right. I mean, the faceoffs were unreal. Bolduc was so good. Guhle with the game-winning goal. Part of me wishes it was Slav, but I don't even care. You get the goal at the end of the day. It is what it is. The whole team performed pretty well. I mean, again, I wish we had some more power play goals, but getting the win's important, Jesse. I mean, hey, what do you think? Top of the Atlantic? You think it's reasonable?
I think we definitely can. Again, I don't want to get too bold, but again, we're looking at what are some we would consider top teams at the Atlantic, and what we've seen from earlier on. Toronto Maple Leafs would be fair to be considered there. We were looking better. I think we let that first game get ahead of us. There was some points where it's like, it wasn't even, we were looking like the much better team. I think we're going to see that going on. And it's a little bit of a surprise because this is a very young team. But again, the difference was shown tonight where we're even younger than the Blackhawks, but we're young, but we got experience because we got guys like even Suzuki, like Caufield, some of their first years, they're going for deep runs in the playoffs, starting to show. Guys like Demidov already, Hutson already having playoff experience. So there's a big difference between like having a young team, but getting some playoffs, and Chicago, again, being even a little bit older than us, but kind of showing their inexperience and just the myriad of penalties that they were really taking here today. So again, just so many positive things for us to build upon here. And absolutely, I think we can be competing with the very best in the Atlantic. But again, it's going to be honest, let's play that consistent hockey and really just kind of have that collective play throughout. If it's everybody can be kind of supporting the forwards and defense, that's been the recipe early on in the season for success. If they can keep that on, Josh, as the season goes on, I definitely feel that they can be there right near the top.
For sure. And if we keep playing like we have these last few games and the power play starts to click at the level that we were anticipating with just the pure amount of talent we have, like it's not going to stay this way forever. This is early in the season. This is the time that you go and you look and you make adjustments and you figure out what works. And we're still getting some power play goals. Like, it's not like we're bottom of the league or anything. 20% tonight. And I think we were well above that before tonight, right? So it's like we're doing pretty well. And I'm really excited to see what's coming next. But can't believe this is how this game ended tonight. Leave your thoughts, some love for the boys down below. That'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. And hey, don't forget, we're here every single day with the latest Habs news. So if you want to stay up to date, there is no better place than hitting that subscribe button down below. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.